UPS, the United Parcel Service, just announced 30,000 job layoffs in 2026.
I'm kind of freaking out right now. I'm pretty sure I just got laid off. I'm trying to sign in.
But the reality is that over 100 companies have already submitted layoff plans, and it's only January.
I really don't think that many people in corporate America know what's about to happen in 2026.
Issued a memo dated on January 7th, confirming plans to eliminate 265 positions total.
Alright, so we're just a few months into the new year and mass layoffs across America are not slowing down. Companies are cutting jobs, hiring is frozen, and even people with stable careers are feeling uncertain. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through today, guys, so let's get started.
UPS just announced 30,000 job layoffs in 2026 in the U.S. What? Yes, UPS, the United Parcel Service, just announced 30,000 job layoffs in 2026 and closing 24 service centers. What? Yes. Why would they be doing this? Well, a slowdown in packages, a slowdown in purchasing. Amazon, they say, have slowed quite a bit, and I wonder why they've slowed down. Let's see. Who's in charge of the tariff policy in this country that makes things become more expensive? Who's in charge of the economic policy in the United States now for over a year? Who has seen the economy only grow at a slower and slower and slower pace? Who is in charge?
Let's check the comments. UPS had an expensive union contract with its workers. Could that also be a factor? Tariffs. Tariffs have nothing to do with it. UPS itself stated they are losing business because of Amazon ending contracts with them. The CEO had a $23 million salary on top of stocks. That would be the reason perhaps instead of union contracts. So what do you think? Is it because of tariffs or is it because of the slowdown in packages? And it is not just UPS, it's layoffs all over the place. 175,000 jobs lost at the largest company in South Dakota. We are doomed. And 16,000 jobs from Amazon. 18,000 from FedEx. We'll get to the Amazon thing in a bit.
US labor market lost 600,000 jobs in January. This is an absolutely insane increase from last year. The US lost 1.1 million jobs for the total year, which is already the most since COVID. If you want to be prepared for layoffs, here are some signs that you might want to be aware of. An obvious early sign is a hiring freeze. The company can't afford to hire any new people. If the leaders start talking about operational efficiency and making do with less, or even just a straight up C-suite change. New executives want to show impact, and layoffs are one of the easiest ways to do that. Also, in tandem with the hiring freeze, budget cuts are common. Less promotions, less perks, less of everything really. When people start leaving and they're not backfilled, company reorgs that don't make sense. If your team all of a sudden really cares about documentation, that could be another sign. The best way to be prepared is honestly just have the skills for another job always ready. Keep your LinkedIn and resume updated. Always be interviewing, even if only casually. Have an emergency fund of a couple months, and always negotiate your severance.
I read through a Challenger report and I want to present some statistics to you. The first one is job cuts by industry. As you can see, the most impacted industries are warehousing, technology, retail, healthcare products, government, financial, and consumer products. Another table here presents the layoffs by location. On top of the rankings is District of Columbia, followed by California, New York, Georgia, and Washington. And on the other side of things, regarding the hiring plans, we can see that 2025 experienced the lower number of hiring compared to the last 10 years. And if we go through the comments, we can see that people are feeling more and more uncertain. Our department budget went from $4 million to $1 million. No layoffs yet. That's huge. More like have an emergency fund for a couple of years, not months. I'm seeing people submitting thousands of applications and hardly getting interviews. Places aren't even hiring. They're just pretending they are. My company is having cash flow problems and switched to a new CEO on Tuesday. My position is an afterthought. I wonder if I will survive or if I will be driving a school bus. You're done. Save cash. Literally happened to me.
Any of the tech workers still unemployed from the mass layoffs, have y'all been getting feelers sent out by recruiters yet? Suddenly I have a lot of recruiters in my inbox for contract work 6 months to 1 year at a time, but they are all hiring for a ridiculously low hourly rate. So jobs that I used to go on where I would be making $50 to $70 an hour are now hiring for $25 to $30 an hour, which is about the same amount that I make doing retail management work, except with my retail manager's job, I at least get benefits. The whole reason for a high hourly is that you are charging for the benefits that you do not get as a salaried employee, including things like job security, your 401k, and your health insurance. We are undergoing a major salary reset for the tech industry at the very least, if not across the board. They are trying to get white-collar workers as close to the minimum wage as possible. Never once did I ever think my tech job, my cushy tech job, would be the equivalent of working retail. Never. And now I'm sitting here with interviews from the Big Five that offer the same amount as my retail job, but I mean less, honestly, because I don't get health insurance, I don't get benefits, and I don't get paid time off. My retail job is more competitive than the tech jobs I'm going out for.
When high-skilled jobs start paying the minimum wage, it completely changes how people think about education, experience, and career paths. I genuinely have just accepted retail right now. My military cyber experience pays the same, and I enjoy working with hair more than computers. Same happened after the 2008 crash. I turned down every job offer that was less than what I made previously, despite everyone around me acting like I should be thankful for anything. Don't fall for it. Hold the line. I stopped trying when Microsoft and Nintendo both offered to pay me minimum wage. The layoffs were to reset the job market so that people will accept lower pay and short terms. Like that CEO said, we need a nice little recession to make workers feel grateful for their jobs again.
Bloomberg is reporting that multiple U.S. companies are announcing mass layoffs, and these others are expected to do the same in what's quickly becoming one of the largest countrywide job cuts in recent history. In the latest sign that major changes are coming for the United States economy, employers across nearly every sector, from tech to healthcare, have announced layoffs totaling in the tens of thousands, with some companies citing efficiency gained from AI as the main reason. It's likely most are conducting the cuts as purely a money-saving measure intended to quickly boost the company's stock price, and this time no one was safe as the hardest hit companies spanned multiple industries. In tech, Amazon led the charge by laying off 16,000 corporate employees, most of them engineers. Pinterest followed by letting go roughly 15% of their entire workforce. Other sectors impacted include Nike and FedEx in the retail space, Expedia in travel, and Blue Shield of California in healthcare, but things are only getting worse from here, with even more companies announcing their intention to join in on future layoffs, as corporate America, including Microsoft, who announced that they will conduct one of the largest layoffs in their recent history.
These companies actually don't care about you. Going over to the comments, I was laid off after 16 years this past Friday with a large healthcare company. Whoa, 16 years. I'm sorry they did you dirty. I was on PTO also, and that's dirty, but they don't care about the person, only their stock price. AI efficiency, just say offshoring. My company is closing some departments with plans to reopen in India, and guess what the CFO is going to say? My husband's company worked for Medicaid and Medicare. They laid off almost 80% employee and offshore the job to India. The job involving citizens' confidential information. To me, that AI efficiency that we hear all the time, it might be just a disguise to reduce headcount.
Hi everyone, just wanted to jump on here and discuss what happened yesterday with Amazon. Amazon laid off 16,000 employees, corporate employees, including IT, AWS, Amazon Web Services. They plan on closing some Amazon Fresh stores, all of the Amazon Fresh stores, as a matter of fact. Human Resources, which is my department. And unfortunately, I was one of the lucky ones who got that text message stating that my job was no longer needed and that my role and job position have been eliminated. They immediately deactivated my badge. I had no access to my computer, Slack channel, email, everything just gone. Just gone. Like I didn't even exist. Like I didn't even matter. I understand they want to go into the direction of AI, but I don't agree with AI. That's just my personal opinion. I believe that if you want to have a positive associate experience, that for them to have human contact, human conversation, with people that are properly trained, with the correct policies and support, that's more important than having a robot, because they're not always right. It's all right. I'm not really going to get into all that. But.
Cutting 16,000 jobs, that's an insane number, and it shows how tough the US job market right now is. I was also laid off this week after 15 years with Amazon, also PXT, which is HR.
Gaming industry is about to undergo a monumental shift due to unusual economic conditions, starting off with this unusual fact that 1/3 of US video game industry workers were laid off over the last 2 years. The number goes down to 28% if you include international, but that's still a huge amount of layoffs. I found this little chart on Wikipedia that shows you the number of layoffs by quarter, and you can see that Q1 2024 is anomalously high, but there are quite a lot of layoffs per quarter, and according to the GDC survey, about 1 in 3 of all workers of all types, top to bottom from QA to lead dev, have been laid off, all on the heels of EA getting bought by Saudi Arabia, Microsoft buying Activision, and Ubisoft, I don't know, just kind of burning out here with their stock and everything. On top of the fact that memory prices, RAM prices, GPU prices all going up, electricity prices all going up to feed AI data centers. The entire video game industry is about to have to reorient itself around artificial intelligence, not necessarily about using AI to generate game assets, but about the broader economics of how AI is going to impact game accessibility.
They wanted to implement AI so they could lay off workers. Then AI made everything too expensive, so they had to lay off work. I'm a huge gaming fan myself, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that AI automation will do to the upcoming game releases, and to be honest, I'm not sure we will witness a positive impact.
So I may be laid off again from Amazon next week. And I was laid off from Amazon last October, and then I found a role with the retail org, and today I found out that the retail org may be going through layoff next week. My heart sank a little bit after reading that news, understandably, so I couldn't carry on working like usual, so I decided I want to make a video about this, also to show you guys this quite beautiful view from the cafeteria. Hopefully I will still be able to use it after next Tuesday. The layoff news is not news. We know that's going to happen next week, right? Almost for sure. What I didn't know personally is which team will be affected. And then based on this, it says like the retail team would be affected. And my role currently is with a retail team. So there's a very good chance that I will be laid off again next week. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope that at least it will be easier for me to take the news if it happens to me again.
So just imagine being laid off twice in under 6 months. If it does, don't go back to Amazon again. They don't deserve your loyalty, and I'm sick of seeing these big companies toying with people's livelihood. I can promise I won't go back. Money is hell of a motivator. Yes, it is. Now let's see a video on the universal basic income topic.
People say once AI takes over, universal basic income is going to save us, but universal basic income is nothing but a nice way to package welfare. If they pay every American $16,000 today, that's $5 trillion a year. And $16,000 a year is basically poverty. The government is not going to fund your trips and grass-fed meat and bougie lifestyle.
We can't even do universal healthcare. Universal income will never happen. Humans have never been good at fair distribution of resources. And it's not only that we're not good at fair distribution, but we're actually getting worse and worse at it. So let me know what you think about the universal basic income topic in the comments down below.
I really don't think that many people in corporate America know what's about to happen in 2026. They are calling it the Great Restructuring. And essentially, companies are looking to work more efficiently. So especially large companies, they are looking at all of their workflows. They are looking at how their work is done all of the systems they're using. And they're figuring out ways to automate work. They're using AI agents, and automation to streamline all of their operations. So this means that if you're working at a really large company, particularly if you're involved in a lot of cross-functional projects and projects that, quite frankly, take way too much time, you are at risk of losing your job. They're still going to need people, but they are looking at ways that they can increase the bottom line by replacing people with agents that can do repetitive tasks.
I work for a large corporation, billing. They're offshoring and using AI. It's awful. The offshoring is going horrendously and we're losing customers. Layoffs on the horizon. I don't know if they thought about what happens when we don't have money to buy their products because AI took our jobs. The C-suite executives don't care because they will make their money off of the short-term savings. Once they are gone and have made their money, they aren't held accountable for their long-term destruction of the company. At the end of the day, companies don't care about you. If there is a way to save money and make their stock price rise up, you'll be thrown at the door.
Pinterest also announced today that they are going to be laying off about 15% of their staff. And that budget is going to be reallocated towards AI tools or towards staff that can build with AI. But the reality is that over 100 companies have already submitted layoff plans, and it's only January. And most of these companies are saying that this is a result of AI. Some of this is because AI is actually taking on enough work that they just don't need as many people. Some of it is companies betting on AI, so they don't necessarily think it's there yet, but they think it'll get there. And so they're exiting staff so that they can bring in people with different skill sets and so that they can upskill their existing employees. So I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but the reality is that if you want to continue working for these companies, you're going to have to incorporate AI into your work. You're going to start having to build those skills. You're going to have to build with AI yourself. You're going to have to consider AI strategy and how you're going to be able to use AI to get more done with the same number of people and the same budget.
I do agree with that incorporating AI could be a smart move, especially when workforce changes constantly, but still, job security is a company decision and it is not based on individual skills.
I have some more breaking news. Expedia has just announced they're going to be laying off an additional 162 employees. This is already with the 16,000 people that have just been laid off of Amazon in the Seattle area, and around other parts of the country, of course, not just Seattle. But 162 people will lose their roles. The WARN notification has been filed with the state of Washington, and there'll be layoffs through April 1st through April 19th of this year. So yes, this is moving forward. AI is here, automation's here, and the world's changing. Everybody, we need to work together. We need to become community and start a side hustle and get things going.
I did some research and actually the affected positions at Expedia include content designers, data engineers, product managers, and software development engineers. Let's roll to the next video because apparently even your shower isn't safe anymore.
I just got laid off. I'm like in shock right now. I was showering and I joined a global PTUD all hands like 5 minutes late, and I get slacks from my entire team. Are we getting laid off? And then it's the CEO explaining to me about how our Q4 performance was poor and how he would like personally make sure that we would be fine, whatever. Like, you know, typical like I'm the CEO, just got laid off speech. And then the Zoom ended. Mind you, I was online. I joined for like a minute, and then immediately I get logged out of Slack and all my Google Calendar, email, and everything. So I'm kind of freaking out right now. I'm pretty sure I just got laid off. I'm trying to sign in. All my logins aren't working, so I have no way to communicate with anyone on my team, my boss.
And of course, the comments didn't disappoint. Showering in the middle of the workday and showing up late to mandatory meetings. Being late to your own layoff is crazy. You missed your own layoff.
There's a few things that you can do to protect yourself, and I'm going to share based on people in Rise who lost their jobs, and these are the things they wished they would have done. First and foremost, when Amazon announces this, you get your employment file. That means any reviews that you have from HR, anything that showcases your accomplishments, anything that shows the work that you've done without taking confidential information, Get that information off of your corporate computer and onto your personal computer. I just had a friend lose his job the other day, and he had glowing reviews from his team, from his colleagues, from his boss, and they shut his access off to his stuff while he was on the call getting laid off. So now he has to ask for his employment file. It is so much easier to just have this information about yourself. Any good reviews, any good emails where people are saying you've done a great job, any work or anything that you can do to showcase your accomplishments, get it now. Also look into any benefits that you might have as an employee now that you might not have if you lose your job. Make all your doctor's appointments right now, because if you are somebody who gets laid off, there's only a certain amount of time in a window, like wiggle room, to go see those appointments before maybe your insurance can switch to COBRA or it disappears completely. Check on your 401k, check on any investments, check on any, equity, anything like that. Look at it now.
I agree with that. Do those things if you're about to get laid off.
Get ready with me to get laid off. Oh wait, I am already laid off because they sent me an email at 4:49 a.m. and they said, hey girlie, your role has been eliminated. We do not need you here anymore. Yes, if you guys didn't know, I did have a full-time job on top of doing this because I do not make enough money doing this. So if you are a brand and you want to work with a girl who has a lot of free time on her hands, hi, hey. But no, I work for Amazon. Well, I worked for Amazon, but don't worry, they can send influencers on amazingly beautiful brand trips, but they didn't pay me more than $50,000 anyways, so honestly, what am I losing? I'm not gonna lie though, I actually feel really good about this, which sounds crazy, I understand. Back when I was 26, I actually got fired from a job, which that's a little bit more jarring, I will say, because income is cut immediately. At least with a layoff, I have a little bit of time, but I am not kidding. That is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I was actually fired right before COVID. So then COVID hit and I was collecting unemployment and I was getting the additional extra COVID pay. So I was actually making more money unemployed than I ever was at that job. That's actually what led me to Amazon, and I started working in the COVID center, and then I ended up doing disability and leave stuff. So one, if you know any HR roles that are hiring or doing anything with disability and leaves, I'll send you my resume, but after I get my new laptop in the mail, because my old resume is actually on my laptop that I have no access to.
It's good that she's feeling positive about it, but that's an awful way to start your day with "you're fired" message. 4:49 a.m. is diabolical. I was in REM. REM is actually that part of your sleep where your brain is active and you're dreaming. Now let's watch a live "you're being fired" meeting.
Come with me to get made redundant from my job.
Yeah, Edward. After careful review today, we made the decision to proceed with certain role eliminations due to needs and performance of our GTM organization, and your role has been impacted, and today will be your last day. I'm wishing you all the best.
Yeah, cool. No worries. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a
Take
nice
care.
day.
Bye.
Why they let you go and how you know it was gonna happen. People got laid off in other regions, so it was just a waiting game for our region to get evaluated as well.
I just feel like layoff culture in America has gotten too normal. We need to bring back shaming companies that are laying people off, especially if they are profitable. America needs to start regulating layoffs, and I don't know if there's legislation or something that could be put in place, but there is no reason why 1.1 million people should have been let go from their jobs in 2025. I think that there should be something in place, especially for companies that quite literally are profitable, and there is absolutely no financial reason for them to be letting go hundreds of thousands of people. I think that something should be put in place. Let's not fail to mention that over half of the layoffs in America since February, according to this Fortune report, have been Black women. 600,000 Black women have been let go of their jobs and have been disproportionately impacted by this. I still have a job. I'm not a part of those layoffs, thank God, but I was laid off last year. I just have anxiety that at any given time, this company could just let me go for literally no reason at all. I don't know if anybody else just has this pre-layoff anxiety, the PTSD of being laid off. It's just something that I could just never shake. I just am constantly feeling like, am I doing enough? Am I visible enough? Am I enough? Am I valuable? And it's like, I should not have to feel that way to quite literally make a living. Like, whenever I tell you I'm applying for jobs, I've been interviewing for jobs, mind you, I have a full-time job, purely and simply so that just in case it happens.
Layoffs used to be a sign of a falling company and bad leadership. Now they do it just because it's Tuesday. They do it for fun. The devil is in charge. I got laid off along with maybe 100 plus others, and the company rehired for all the positions, promoted the toxic people, and added more positions. Something similar happened to my friend who worked for Indeed. They laid off a bunch of people, reposted all their jobs at lower salaries. That should be like extra super illegal. It should be illegal to do layoffs when posting a profit and paid bonuses in general, but doing layoffs and simply rehiring at lower rates should be a criminal act with fines and minimum 8 years jail time and seizure of assets. It should be a huge no, no, no. In America, employers can fire anyone at any time without any notice period. But on the other hand, if we look at Europe and particularly France, there are strong regulations that protect employees. Employers must show a real documented cause, and there is a long notice period. There is mandatory severance and high risk of labor court challenges if the firing is being disputed.
Pomona Valley Hospital Medical Center leadership issued a memo dated on January 7th confirming plans to eliminate 265 positions total, including 137 involuntary layoffs in 2026, while refusing to refill 128 existing vacancies. The memo states these cuts will impact nearly every area of the hospital, including clinical and non-clinical staff, and frames this as a cost reduction strategy tied to budget shortfalls and state and federal funding changes. At the same time, SEIU union leadership has publicly stated they believe the hospital is not following collective bargaining bylaws, and they are issuing a cease and desist demanding information and immediate bargaining. So here's the part that really matters. Despite confirmed layoffs at this scale, there is no publicly posted WARN notice as of today. WARN laws exist to prevent workers and communities from being blindsided. So when hospitals delay or avoid transparency, staffing collapses quietly and patient safety takes the hit.
It won't impact executives. It usually never does. She's telling the truth. I read the official statement, and it is because of reduced state funding and slow payments from insurance companies. What do you think?
Nike is expecting to lay off over 700 employees in Tennessee and Mississippi, the company says. Anyways, they're saying it's a result of the company's decision to consolidate some of their services from U.S. distribution operations. And they put out a statement to power our Win Now actions. We're taking steps to strengthen and streamline our operations so we can move faster, operate with greater discipline, and better serve athletes and consumers. We are sharpening our supply chain footprint, accelerating the use of advanced technology and automation, and investing in the skills our team need for the future. Our actions so consolidate our operations footprint, primarily impact our U.S. distribution operations. These actions are designed to reduce complexity, improve flexibility, and build a more responsive, resilient, responsible, and efficient operation, and to support our path back to long-term profitable growth, including contributing to improved EBIT margins over time. Mind you, Nike is worth $91.12 billion. But I guess that little negative there, they don't like that.
As I said before, the only thing they care about is the stock price. We will finish this episode with Citi Bank layoffs.
Citi just announced 1,000 job cuts. While you might be thinking that this doesn't affect me, think again. Hidden in the same week, they had already posted their annual revenues of $84 billion. All 5 business segments had hit a record high. It's pretty much the best turnaround US bank stock you can find in this decade. Jane Fraser, their CEO, said this: "We are not graded on effort, we are judged on our result." What she meant to say to her 200,000 over employees was to expect automation, AI, and process simplification to reshape how work gets done in 2026. Companies are now discovering how effective one person with AI tools can now work, and investors are rewarding them for it.
Capitalism at its finest. Indeed. So that's all I've got for today for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you found the episode useful, please leave it a like and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.